Hi everyone. What we're doing here is just going to do a quite easy one, and it's on a Saunders paper. But I find that if I'm in a warm room, it it dries out quicker. So it's nice to be in a coolish room when you're painting. I'm just sketching out now. I've just put a little winding road there up on the hill, and I'm going to put a little cottage on top. Not very high. The gable facing to me, and a slight downward line of the roof at the top of the roof. This is a little cabin at the side, just for interest, lower down on the hill maybe. And it's an old method of painting, but it's a bungalow, which is more interesting in this case. Just a little lean-to there. And you know, I think I forgot to put the shadow in there on the wall. I think I've been rushing it a bit too much, really. Well, you see the shadow of the lean-to on the white wall of the gable, which is going to be white, and the shadow will come over from the right-hand side. Now, the background of the hill I've drawn in there, you can either make that into a distant mountain or hill by doing it in a blue colour with a little bit of alizarin into it, or you can use it as a dark set of trees. Yeah. So now the drawing's nearly done, that's right out my head. Of course, maybe I should have put if I put it a bit over to the centre, the little bungalow, I've been able to put more of the reflection of it in the water. You see? So I'll be putting a reflection in what's left. They'll not give it a lot of water there, you see. Should have pushed the path further over to the right, or bring the little bungalow over to the left-hand side, towards the centre. I think would have been better. So I'm just mixing some colour up now. Now this is Payne's grey, but I put a little bit of blue in it. Now, with it being warm in here, it's drying very, very quickly, can you see, because it's a dry paper. Very dry paper. And it's drying very quickly. So I've just turned the heat off in the room, and I've got a thick jacket on. I'd rather be cold than having it too hot in this conservatory, because of a heater in this conservatory. You see now that Payne's grey, I put a bit of blue in it, not much, but it's not coming up true to fashion, to colour really on this, with this lighting. I've just got two ordinary bulbs at the back on the top, and one to the right hand side, but all at the same level, high up pointing down. That's only a bit of light red, I'll just throw it in. When it dries out, you won't see much of it anyway. It will be light, very light this. So just rubbing it with the back of the brush in some places. can you see I rubbing to the back of the brush, and like even going round there with the back of the brush, not there. See, watch when I start using the back, and what happens is the brush becomes pointed. You can see there's a little bit of cauliflowering coming up there. Now that's because of the heat in the room, I think, really. Some papers act different, you know. If you get a bocking foot, it tends to buckle very, very, very much. And I'm not sure whether this paper is a Saunders, because I know Saunders is dry, but it could be another paper, an unusual make. It begins with H, I think. Yeah. Now I've decided to put some green at the back, dark green trees there. Instead of having a blue hill, we're pushing it way, way back. We're using a mixture of yellow and blue ultramarine. It's like a dirty, nasty green, really, but don't worry about that. We're just drying it, then I can bring the foreground in just over the top of the water is where I want to bring it in. So dark green I've just used will come in very handy for a shadow green over the top of this green I'm going to put on, because that green though, which is the yellow, cad yellow probably, and the ultramarine, I'll weaken it down a lot with some more cad yellow, and this is the result of what you'll get. Not far off it, but not a clean green. It's not a clean green. It's a little bit of brown in it, but I don't know, it seems not to be true to the colour, this camera. I mustn't forget to put the path in there. Of course, you can follow me doing this, and it's not complicated. See, I'll make a path, but I'm bringing this out a bit into the lake, keeping it like straight, those jagged edges straight if possible, if I can remember. I can see this little path I've made there with it. Not hard, that. You can do that, lovely. Now don't jump at too many conclusions when you're getting so far with your painting. Just don't have patience and wait for the next coat to change things. Things change as you put different colours on top. It makes everything look different. It starts off not looking good, but it ends up looking okay. Now see, little things like this I'm doing now. It's making that look a bit lighter, the green behind it. And that's a bit of washed over water into the, leaving mud on the side of the lake. So That should be, yeah, a little bit of brown there, not too strong. Now to make it look lighter, we'll be putting some line round it to bring it out. But what will be interesting is showing you using that dark green again, what's in the background. Well, first of all, we'll just put some brown on here. It looks pretty dark though, but can you see how I'm slanting that roof down? The top of it then, because it's, you have to use perspective on it, you see, because there's more of a gable near to me, so then this a bit farther away, not much, but you just have to show us it's going that way direction. It's just a bit of umber, little blue, a small amount of blue in it, because it's rather a red colour. But you can see it just show against the background there by having it just the right depth of colour, not too dark, not too light, but you see the background of the sky. I admit it's not a good sky. It's just the colouring seems a bit weird. There we are. Now put a little bit more water in that one, put the roof of that. So, just getting on okay, letting it dry. Now I'm putting a little bit more umber in there, a bit more blue in it, just along there where you get that right underneath the water's edge, really black and dark. And now I'm just putting some soil edgings. Can you see? Now then, I'm not sure yet what we're going to do. Now this is nice and dark. A lot of blue in this into your yellow and a bit of brown. Not too much brown, but you want it a lovely dark. Now watch how the light on the foreground grass starts to grow lighter as you put this in. And it does bring out the sides of your cottage. It makes them stand out, that side of that cottage. Now you'll get little shadows under the grasses all across the front of your outhouses and that. There's the dark grasses, shadows in the grass which is growing up against the side. That make so you can put a little shadows in, which is what it's really like. So you're getting used to that. You see how things change as you don't jump at conclusions with the first coat, because you can change a colour by putting another colour at the side of it. Now I suggest coming across here with some trees, low trees. I don't want to overdo it with the trees. They do plant a lot of trees around the cottages in Wales and Scotland and in the fields. You see, I'll come across here and then across with some low ones, separating the background green, which is a little bit darker. Could be darker still, so if you make it darker, don't panic. Right. Now, if I come across here with some low, I've got to put one big one there. That's it. But I didn't want to overdo it, you see, with trees. Now, this is the same green. On top, I'm surprising. It's putting a shadow on of the. See, the same green as them trees. It's very dark, but a little bit of water in it. Just for a shadow from the clouds, eh? It all helps. And it makes the light green come up, lighter green, come lighter still. I'm going to put a little bit of green in there as well, I think, into the water. Reflection from the green of the land, and then reflect the trees on top of those. So that is a little bit too green, really, isn't it? I should go. I say go across, but it's a little bit green, all right. Mixed it in haste. Yeah, I've missed a few things off in it, you know. It's always a time limit when you're doing a video like this. I don't stop and start, I do it all at once and that's it. I don't stop after so long and then begin again after. That end there, the problem is I should have put, it would have been 100% better if I'd have put a shade there, coming from there onto the white. I've just mixed the colours, just straight blue, straight yellow, and so on, and try not to mix too many together, to just a green and a blue and a yellow, if you can get it. Like, if you have to use like a cerulean blue to get your light, a cobalt blue, and use a darker yellow light. I think I'll have to get another brush. This brush is very fine at the end, but sometimes it's so fine it doubles over itself when you're doing it. It's not stiff enough, it doubles like, and makes a splodge. I think using a tiny brush is about better than a rigger, don't you? You know, everybody doubts themselves, and I doubt myself a lot. And I do wonder, are they worth putting on myself? Because I have a high opinion of what I should be doing, and how I should do it, and how it should be looking. And I so often think it's not quite good enough for doing, you know, because I think everybody is that unsurety inside themselves. And I've never had praise in my, I've never had praise. My mother was a nice street woman. I always said, lad, never think they're as good as anybody else. Don't ever get big-headed or think they're better than anybody else, no matter how you go on in life. And I think that all the time. So I always doubt myself. I've always doubted myself about doing painting. I do the best what I can do, but I often think, well, it's not good enough. But perhaps that's why I'm always trying and trying to improve. I never stop to do a good painting. There's something about a painting when it clicks. You'll find that yourself, but it has to click. Otherwise, you feel so disappointed. I think, should there be a black line here? Should there be the... Yeah, and sometimes I'll look at Edward West and think, wow, how is this so good at, and how can he make it look so perfect without doing anything hardly? And Edward Seagull is the same. That knack of making things look correct. Even a jagged line, which it has to be crooked to look right somewhere or you can't be too perfect. You can't be too photogenic, is it? When you're too much like a photograph. You have to get away from that. And that's what, if I could do it like Edward Weston, I'd be happy. I don't want to do perfect painting. And I don't want to draw straight lines. Well, I can't anyway at my age. But that's what I mean. See, I'm going across there with my brush. I've deliberately made one part of the guttering on the left thicker. Deliberately. And some of the lining at the side of the roof I've missed out. Of course, I know that they avoid putting a lintel over the top of a window. The old cottages, naturally they use the length of wood going straight across the top where the underheaves. See, I forgot to put that shadow on the white at the side there of that outhouse. And I've not put enough covering of that light green there. I need to put a little bit of covering, a swish over that to darken that. You just wanted a little bit of colour in the reflection. That was way too light. That's better, but still not quite enough. That's better though. And the shadow there has not been done either. This is where I must have gone for a drink of tea. Must have gone for some Tetley. The poor wife's been dragged into hospital again. I have a feeling she might not come home again. But still, you have to be cruel to be kind. Well, it's not being cruel. She needs to be near someone to take care of her all the time. Yeah, I just had a drink of tea, yeah. I saw the shadow of it then. Must have missed out the recording when I was doing this. I'm talking this over, and watching it and talking it to you. Really, I shouldn't be giving so much information really, because I have to think about my Patreons. They are helping me out with, with payments for my paints. The paints are colossal now. £16 for a tube. Get enough wallpaper for decorate a house with what it costs. It's never under £60 when I make an order. Mostly it's £60 a time, a month, nearly. That's one I did earlier on. That was a very, very easy one I did for you. But I'm not putting it on for you. I've done one for my patrons yesterday, and now, do you like that? As our friend used to say, up the road. Fred Dimberby, or is it Dimby? Do you like that? He was like me in a way. I used to say, can I have a piece of wall chocolate? Wall chocolate. Could never understand why it was whole chocolate. Well, there's no holes in it. Now, I'll leave it on a minute or two. What do you think? Is that okay for you? I've had to use lights for this. It's been so dark today. And yet, I've still got some roses. I've got roses in the garden. Passion. Those are the ones what smell beautiful. Passion. Pink cast, a pink colour. Now that must be the third bloom. Anyway, thanks for looking in and thanks for being with me. Take care, everybody. Look after yourselves.